All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Quilt Nation, Quilting Marine here.
So he just rolled in with that because I was going to take over and be like, I got a new spot. I'm taking over. It's the Quilting Marine takeover.
Do it anyway.
We have finally made it to Quitman, Texas. Stitchin Heaven. All right, so I gotta share something.
Do it.
Because we do so many good things together, and Stitchin Heaven supports what I do with you.
All right.
And I figured I'd come out, thank everyone at Stitchin Heaven. They treat me so well. They treat me, Steph, and Rob very well. And I want to just make it known that, I appreciate you, brother. I really do. I think, man. I love you, man. All right. And now that all the soft stuff's over with.
Yeah, let's get to quilting.
Okay. Let's talk about what's behind me. So what's behind me is a quilt that I call Cookies and Cream. You guys know I love New York Beauties. I love them to death. And if I could just work on New York Beauties, that's what I would do. But I can't because I have you guys, subscribers. You want to see more, you're going to get more. But today, we're going to talk about this New York Beauty. So New York Beauties come in, a few different patterns. But my favorite is this. I get this pattern out of Valerie Wells' book, Radiant New York Beauty. That's like the oldest, and I think the very first book I've ever purchased in quilting. And that thing is worn, okay? It opens to the same pages. I think if you hold it spine up, I think pages would fall out. That's how much I love this book. And you guys some of you know that I've built a few of these, and I'm usually just all over the place with color. I use color. I love color. And I'm always saying on the channel, if the color's not kicking you in the face, it's not worth using, okay? But the quilting police always send out agents to arrest me because I'm counterculture when it comes to our thing, all right? I love our craft. I really do. So I thought of doing this. It was after a cruise that we did together, me, Rob, and someone else. And what happened was I wanted to build something without color. I figured this quilt could go really good without color. But I was so hesitant. I was dragging my feet. And my great wife was like, either blank or get off the pot. So I rolled out with it. One of the things that I had to do is I didn't have that much black and white, but I didn't want it to just be solid black, solid white. That's going to be like, oh, you're going to, really fast. So I figured it would have to be black with white, white with black, and then go from there in a print. And I just started collecting, started rolling out the pattern. It talks for itself, right? The thing about New York Beauties that, intimidated me at first was you think there's a lot going on here, but actually there's not, New quilters, don't be intimidated by the New York Beauty. You can do it too, right? If you can follow directions, if you can fold paper, right? Stitch on the line on the paper, you can build one of these just as easy.
I disagree. All right, enough fluff. Let's just paper piecing, and I'm scared. And that's why Mark's here, is to teach paper piecing.
Not all paper piecing is the same, though.
That is true.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how am I going to learn this stuff, man?
So you got to remember, right? The lines are where your stitches go. If you can put your lines on, or you can put your stitches on the lines, you're creating. A lot of people get this confused. They think that the blank side is the workspace. It's actually this is your workspace, right? The blank side is what's producing this. If you're paying attention to your stitch lines on the first side, it's gonna work out for you.
All right, I'm going to see it. I guess my biggest problem is I often don't have enough fabric to go to the following side and allow for seam allowance. So that's what I'm scared about. That's what I'm intimidated about.
Okay, so that's why one of these comes in really handy, okay? This is a 1/4-inch ruler, right? This is a lifesaver. This wouldn't get done without a 1/4-inch ruler.
Oh, that's a quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Add a quarter ruler.
Let me add that. Add a boy. Let me add that for you.
Add a boy to add a quarter ruler. Add a quarter. It does all the work for you, right? There's a notch. Those of you who don't know, there's a 1/4-inch notch in the spine of the ruler. and you add that to your folded edge, and it's going to take care of you as you cut.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see it. I'm
right.
excited.
So
this is the borders we're working on.
Yeah, we're working on the border. I didn't finish my border, as you can see. I'll just rip straight across, then put it on. So on this one, I'm gonna put what's the corners again?
Cornerstone.
Cornerstones. Yeah. All right. I'm not your terminology guy.
They go on the corner. If it helps you remember, they go on the cornerstone.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to remember that. I'm going with cornerstones. I just drew a blank there. But my buddy Steph said go with the solid, and I was overthinking the cornerstones. You can get into overthinking on this a lot. Just let it run. Have fun.
And I think we can get into overthinking on quilting so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment too, and I think one of the things that Mark and I love so much about quilting, if you don't know his story, retired Marine, combat veteran, and sleeping's not always super easy, processing's not always super easy, and so his quilting is his therapy. And so having stuff that requires focus and concentration helps him
digging in on the piecing and putting it together. The end result is this thing. Once I get this thing done, you'll probably never see it in my position again. I like building them. They don't hang around. I don't hang them up. I don't keep them. They go. I don't have a trunk show because of that. And I was told by my buddy, you need to start keeping a few of them.
I might have him give them away to me. Anyways, I'll collect them for him. But yeah, so this is really fun. Those of you who follow the mental health side of what we do and talk about here at Stitchin Heaven at So Well in quilting, if you didn't hear it, it's the function of making and doing the actual, what's your line? And then
it's only fabric and it's only thread.
Right. And it's sending the stitches downrange that really makes a great space for us. So I understand now why the paper piecing and the attention to detail is awesome for mental health in sewing.
Yeah. So, with a quilt like this or paper piecing a quilt, you can get lost in the process. And that's what I love about it, getting lost in the process. Going in and intending on doing maybe half of a border, and I end up spending 6 hours and not even feel it. So that's what I love about it.
Fantastic.
So
walk me through it, please.
So the thing about the border is it can be super scrappy. You're just grabbing a stash. So Rob invited me into the store to grab bolts of fabric, which I didn't need. All he needed to tell me is where the scrap barrel was, and I can get what I needed from there. Right?
Just like little stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, but that's cool. Yeah. You want me to press it for you?
Somebody buy. Yeah. All right, you can go for it.
You know me, I got to be moving too.
Yeah, no worries. So on this border piece alone by itself, what we're going to do is we're just going to start. Okay. So when we start, so each one of these triangles or angles is numerically coded. Okay. Now, you don't pay attention to that. Just pay attention to your lines, okay? You start looking at numbers, and you're going to be doing like me, losing your mind, okay? So I'm just going to start at one end, and I'm going to attach some white here on the dotted line, and I'm just going to sew on the line to keep it in place, okay? So what we're going to do is...
I think you might have just solved the mystery for me.
What's the mystery?
No, I don't want to interrupt. I want to see. I'm going to watch, and then I'll...
Okay. All right. So...
This piece when you're done.
This piece is huge, so we're going to cut this in half. Okay, let's cut that in half with a rotary cutter I know how to use. No blade. All right, so let's start this. So we're not building our fabric on the line side. Our fabric gets built on the other side. A line side is just telling us where we need to send our stitches. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I have right side facing up, right side facing up on my blank side, okay? I'm just gonna lay it down. I'm just gonna attach it, okay? So we're gonna put this in the machine. Now, if you notice right here, I'm going with the first line, which is that dotted line, okay? That's gonna be my edge. I'm just gonna put it on here, and we're gonna roll with that. All right, let's go here. I'm gonna go on the machine. Let's make sure we're aligned, and we're gonna go down the dotted line here. Now, I sew on and off the paper. I don't stop within any borders on the paper. I start off the paper and I finish off the paper. Because later on, we're going to be, once we peel, which is really satisfying, once we peel off the paper off, that it's super, super satisfying. we're gonna cut along our border, right? And we're gonna make our 1/4 inch seam allowance on the edges. Okay, so once this thing is done, all right, so let's cut that and bring it up. Okay, so fabric's on this side, right? The blank side, but I stitched on this side. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna trim. Now, with the pre-folds, I don't know if you can see that, but it's pre-folded along every edge. It's like crinkly, you can see the misshape, right? See that? Because I pre-folded each edge because we need that pre-fold to guide our cut. So, right here on this first line, we're going to be cutting along that line. But we can't do it on this side. We got to bend, all right? We're bending on that line. We're going to fold it over. Now, as you can see, this line is not straight. We don't want it straight, all right? All right, add a 1/4 ruler along that edge. And look, the add a 1/4 ruler, that edge is going to help you hang on right along that edge of the fold, okay? Now, we're just going to cut along there. Pull that piece off. And we have our first little piece. We're going to add to that, okay? It looks crazy on the camera, I'm sure. And you're probably like, what's this dude doing?
Yeah, if you set it right here, they'll see how tiny it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's just this teeny little thing.
Yeah, but within that cut, everyone, there's another 1/4 we're adding to it, all right? Once we add our black, let's add some black.
Doesn't matter which one.
You always need black.
Yeah, once you add a little, I love making him. I love making him laugh.
All right, guys. So look, remember we're working on the blank side. So we're gonna here's a black piece we're gonna add, and we're just gonna add it along the edge of the white piece we already sewed on. Now remember, once we go along that seam, right? It's even across, right side facing. Now I'm just gonna flip it over. Remember, I'm gonna keep hang on to it. And we're going to sew on that first one line right there. Don't worry about the numbers. We're just going to sew right here. Okay? So hanging on. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the machine here. I'm going to make sure I have my line straight. Remember, these are in angles. They're angled. So on your machine, on the deck, it's going to be straight to you. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start off the paper here. And we are going to go down, stay on the line. All right, so I call it blowing through the intersection. Blowing through the intersection is ignoring the lines and just going off, okay? Blow through the intersection so you're safe, okay? So once we blow through the intersection, we're going to cut that. We're going to bring it out. Our second piece has been added. But remember, we're going to fold, right? We got to fold or pre-fold. Just lay it down here. All right. Here's our second fold in the line. Second fold on the sheet. Okay, we're going to add our add a 1/4. It's going to sit right on the edge. And we're going to cut. That's it. All right, let's cut. Let's open it up on the other side. And here's our second stage. Now we're going to mix it up. I'm not going black, white, black, white. I have prints, different prints. So this print was different from this one.
Now, this is called Fairy Frost. I thought you would like it. It's kind of
you brought it in just for me.
I did. Well, it reminds me of cupcakes a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, cupcakes. Let's not talk about cupcakes.
Yeah, don't get him started. We don't want him to get distracted. Until we get this
super scrappy. It's super scrappy. I love doing it, right? So this portion of doing a border, I can knock this out and just get lost completely in it. Remember, right side's facing, right? We're going to add that to the black edge, straight across, right? Off each side of the paper. Now we're just going to go to the machine. And all it is getting into the rhythm of knocking that down. Now, you can press this open if you want to. Most times what I'll do is I'll take it to the iron and I'll just tap it real quick. Because what you don't want to do with your iron is iron flat your pre-folds. That can happen. Your iron could press out your pre-folds and you have to rework them to get them to cooperate with you. All right, so look, we got this black piece. We're going to add this white piece. Right side's facing on this side.
Those white on whites are tough.
White on whites are really bad. All right, so we're going to the machine. And now we're sewing on line two, the second line. Now I'm not going to call it line 2. It's just the second angle.
Don't worry about those numbers. You get lost in the weeds if you start worrying about the numbers.
That's right. All right.
See, I've been listening.
I'm going to start off, and then we're going to go on, go through the intersection, and off. All right. Let's hit that.
Yeah. Okay. It was not using the add a quarter ruler and always trying to make fabric line up with the seam and trying to make the seam match up before I knew where the seam allowance was. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay, I don't know that I can do it right yet without practicing it, but yeah, that's what I've been doing
wrong.
All right,
let's give that a quick press.
Okay.
All right. So the thing you want to watch out for hopefully when you do one, you'll use colors. And you know, when I'm working with the black and white, I have to remember that some of the white fabric you'll be able to see through the white fabric to the dark side. So you're kind of stuck on this. You're just pushing it over. You're just pressing and then moving on.
So you're not worried about the whole press to the dark side concept because this is more construction based.
Yes.
And if I can point out, with so much going on, I am not finding bleed through in the seams. I'd have to really look.
Yeah.
Because what Mark's talking about, if you're brand new to this and you stumbled across the video today, is when you have darker fabrics behind lighter fabrics, sometimes you see like a ghosting of the seam allowance behind it. So that's why you hear all of us talk, hey, press to the dark side, press to the dark side.
Press to the dark side. And I think when I first started doing quilts, when I started quilting, it was Fonz and Porter video that I watched, and they were doing press to the dark side. And that's how I learned that.
Yeah.
But I really love doing New York Beauties because they take time, but they also take your attention. So paying attention to what you're doing, I mean, there's plenty of times where I'm like, hey, who did that? when I know it was me that did it. All right, so I would love to be able to do the whole block for you, but I didn't bring the book because I'm really here on a support program, supporting my buddy.
Well, you can tell him we're having an awesome quilting retreat.
Yeah, we are.
We thought we'd sneak over here and get a little content for the Quilt Nation.
Yeah.
And
I should have gave you the same laugh you gave me when I told you I was going to send you a quilt top to long on.
Right?
You're like, what are you using me for content?
What are you doing? What are you using me for content? You're like, I don't need more content.
This is our relationship. I use him and he uses me.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, because everybody needs a good friend out there.
Yeah.
Actually work and communicate.
Nothing like having a great friend.
Amen to that too. Yeah, this is cool. I want to give this a try. Now, when the first time Mark came out to Stitchin Heaven, he didn't know that we were a QuiltWorks certified shop. And QuiltWorks is a specific style of paper piecing produced by Judy and Judel Niemeyer. And we actually offer here at Stitchin Heaven retreats. We have a whole one called QuiltWorks Experience.
Hopefully, I'll be able to teach a New York Beauty on a retreat.
I like that.
I won't be able to do it without Steph, and I won't be able to do it without you.
Right.
But hopefully we could talk about that.
Right. I know that the QuiltWorks patterns have kind of a coding system for the way that the different big pieces come together.
Okay.
It's I don't want to say it's advanced paper piecing. I am also intimidated by the QuiltWorks, but nonetheless, I think if it was me, and correct me if I'm wrong, please.
No.
I think I want to start with something, even just make a border for another project.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a whole paper piece project.
Yeah.
I could just make a paper piece border or a paper piece block.
Imagine that border on.
Right. And then I think from there, I could start looking at maybe some more of those advanced, because I really do want to make one of those QuiltWorks. There's two of them that I'm really attracted to.
Which ones?
Well, there's the ombre, big old ombre flower one, right?
Yeah. What's the one that I like that Judy Niemeyer?
I'll look them up. We'll put them in the bottom.
We know. Who knows? We know somebody.
Now we're all forgetting. I'll put them in the. I'll put them in the video as we edit it.
There's a Judy Niemeyer. It's jungle. One of the jungle ones. Something in the jungle.
Right.
That they look amazing, and I know if I take it on, it's going to be like a 9-month journey because, it's plenty of content, plenty of color, and I'm going to do it with color. I'm just waiting on my buddy to send me the kit.
There you go. Well, and he's waiting for his buddy to get confident enough for paper piecing, because I actually want to do it at the same time you're doing it. But for me, it's a whole different thing. I also need something to sew on that actually isn't related to the show.
Ooh.
Right? Because that's where my mental health comes from.
Yeah.
Is when I started producing so many quilts to be keeping up with the show, then that starts to make me get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I need to have sewing things related that are also, like you said, just sewing stuff. And so that's why I want to do one of those crazy big kits, because it'll give me the time and the pattern to follow, and I know I can't do it in a day. So for me, I'm always trying to do everything in a single day. Like I'm more Eleanor Burns, I guess, than
because you're employed, brother.
Yeah.
Right. You had a job to do.
I do. And with that said, let's go hang out at a quilt retreat. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Did we miss anything here?
Well, it's just the border. I really regret not bringing the book itself so you can see. You know, in the book, she has the patterns laid out, and she gives you a template that you can work out of.
Right.
I didn't.
That would be the key, right? Is being able to get your paper templates.
Yeah, get the paper templates. And I just reproduce this on regular copy paper. It works. But the preferred paper would be like that super thin.
Because it's going to tear out easier.
Newsprint. Yeah, that's the way to go.
One last, now I'm realizing the questions I should ask maybe for all of us before I wrap it up today. Stitch length. Are you doing a tighter stitch length, a longer stitch length?
Yeah, for paper piecing, what I do is I go with a tighter stitch length. I go with a 2 or sometimes even a 190 because it helps you when you're ripping. It doesn't pull your doesn't pull your stitches out. It doesn't stay, you know.
But it cuts the paper more. Because the needle is perforating the paper.
As you're putting your lines on, you're actually cutting your paper. Yeah.
Another mistake I did make once on a paper piece block is I tried to go with a longer stitch length thinking, and it really distorted my stitches. And so I was hoping you'd say that too.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we forgot to tell them? How about where to find you?
Oh, yeah.
If the Quilt Nation's not here, where to find you?
So I am the Quilting Marine. So I'm on everything social. Even though I don't want to be on everything social, it's not my call. I have a producer, and I'm married to her. But you know, just look up the Quilting Marine or Stephanie Stitches or Rob. I'm usually in the area if you need to get a hold of me.
Fantastic, man. Thank you for being here.
All right,
I appreciate you.
All right, brother. I love you, man.
All right. So we see you next time. Stay well.
And remember, it's only fabric and it's only thread.
Love it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. It really helps support our channel. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Hit the little button to be notified every time we go live or do a new video for all of you. And here's one from the past I think you'll really enjoy.